Hello my friends on YouTube. Today a little knife review, surprise surprise, and the coffee is ready. This is gonna be the review of the Civivi Duros, a very chunky monkey, but also a very nice knife. I was very impressed the moment I opened the box, and I'm really thrilled about this knife. It ticks so many boxes for me, so really a slam dunk for Civivi in my opinion. And I got it in grey. This grey color. I like that a lot, and I don't think it comes in black this time. Just this color, grey, and orange and green. And let's open it up. And as you can see, we start at the tip as usual. Always a good place to start. And the blade steel is D2. The length of the blade is 7.5 centimeters. And if I haven't got the numbers and inches, I will put them in the video as a text. It appears to be a rather fat blade, and it is in this direction, but actually it's a rather thin blade, as you might see here. If I can show you, this grind just makes it look a bit thick, but it is actually very thin, and the hollow grind even makes it thinner, and it is an amazing slicer, actually quite thin behind the edge as well. And I forgot to measure the blade. I'll just try if I can. It is 0.21 inches, and in millimeters that would be 3.04 millimeters. Very thin indeed. And did I mention D2? Anyway, D2 steel. It's been in my pocket, and I'm a sweaty guy, I'm sorry to say. So it's been in my pocket, and I can make D2 rust just being sweaty. Yeah, that's kind of gross. But anyway, this didn't happen with this steel, so I guess they have a bit of better steel. I have other D2 knives that actually just rust in my pocket. And we have a rather beefy handle with some pattern here to make it grippy. The Civivi logo, and a nice sturdy pattern there, and as we can see, there's room for a pocket clip, so this is in fact ambidextrous. Turning it around, the pocket clip, very deep carry, and it is a pocket clip that I like very much. It fits all my pockets, and it goes into the pocket very easily. It is a bit raised here, which helps you when you get it into the pocket, but I also create a little bit of a hot spot, not a big thing. I have to say most of what I talk about the negative sides, these are merely nitpicks actually, because in general I really enjoy this knife very much. Moving on to the, there's a lanyard hole here in the butt end of the knife, and all hardware is Torx 8, which unfortunately, or all the hardware that keeps it together is Torx 8. But that doesn't help much, since one of the screws is behind the pocket clip, which unfortunately is Torx 6. That's a bit of a, yeah, you need two bits no matter what. But the screws that really hold things together are Torx 8s all around, and that's a good thing, so you don't strip your bits that easily. got to mention on the blade the finger choil, nice thing, but then I have to mention that there's nothing, it's very small, thin on top here, so it's a bit uncomfortable if you actually choke up, you make a dent in your thumb. I guess not a problem for a man with a lot of calluses on his fingers, but I just mention it. If you really have to apply some pressure, then it might be a bit uncomfortable. Other uncomfortable, again, not a problem if you just use the knife as is intended, but the flipper tab is a bit uncomfortable, and you feel that if you flip the knife a lot and use it as a sort of a fidget toy, then it has a bit of a hot spot up here. It just punches very deep into your finger, and of course, as I said, if you use the knife as it's intended, no problem. But I like to fidget with my knife, so I mention it, and it really is a nitpick. Fit and finish is awesome. This is in the higher budget range, so I expect no less. Everything is rounded off on the handle, and even a smaller detail like down here, they puffed the corners off. Should have done it up here as well. Might have crowned it, might have given it a bit more width, so that it doesn't make such an impression in your thumb, but yeah, that's the way it is. Anyways, nicely rounded off all over. Absolutely no blade play up and down or side to side, and in general it has a very quality feeling about it. This is what is difficult to really give you an impression in a video, but this is what separates it, for instance, from the cheaper Gansos. Just a little bit more quality. I like my Gansos very much, but this is just a little bit more rounded off. And back to the handle, as we can see, a rather beefy handle, and I think 1.3 centimeters, and so you can feel it in your pocket, but not a very big knife. Besides that, as I said, 7.5 centimeter blade, and overall 17 centimeters. What I also like about this knife is the sturdy feeling it has. The liners are quite thick, and still the knife is only 107 grams, which would translate to 3.75 ounces, which is quite acceptable in my opinion. Overall, I have enjoyed this knife so very much. It is a very, very good little user, and in a price range where I still feel comfortable using it and abusing it. I haven't been doing that so much. That's not what my work is like, but if I have to, I could. And really ticks so many boxes for me. Last point, the action. And this knife actually came dry as a bone inside, and had the action to match it, and I just added a few drops of oil, and it is super smooth, not drop shoddy, because it has a very not a very strong, but a strong detent, which makes it flip very nicely. I can make it fail, but it's not that easy. I can make any knife fail. Yeah, I can do it. But still, you have to do it with some purpose if you want to make it fail, at least after a bit of oil. I don't understand why they didn't put a bit of oil in it, but that's the way it is. And nice action, very nice size. Oh yeah, ergonomics. It sits well in hand, it suits my size 9 hand perfectly. And you can see I can make a 4-finger grip, and even better with the choke up. And just to make some quick size comparisons, steel wheel cut jack is bigger, and a Spyderco Delica about there's something with perspective here, but a little bigger, but very much about the same size. And then I hear from people, but John, we don't have these knives, so how can we compare? So I thought I would introduce something different. I think almost all over the world we know a big ball pen, so there's a size, and perhaps ordinary lighter for you to compare. So maybe that will give you an impression. Overall, I am very, very impressed with this knife. It's one of the best Civivis. It has the right size. I'm sizing down, so to speak. I like smaller knives, and I really, really have enjoyed this knife so much. It has just the right size, the right weight, everything. I really want to call it a sort of a gem in my view and in my collection. I really have enjoyed it so much. If you just want one sturdy, nice EDC knife, I don't think you can go wrong with this one. I like it very much. I'm so thrilled that I took the time and the money to get this one. And with this, which went much longer than I thought, have a nice day, evening, whatever it is in your country. Bye bye.